It's the holiday season. What is everyone going to do? That's the big question this year. And October pending sales were down because of those sky-high prices. What does that mean? We'll talk about it all next on Toole Time. So we are back. I'm Tom Toole. She's Sarah Tymon. And it's like the holiday season. It's December. And I don't think anyone knows what to do anymore. Like all the cool stuff you get to do, like you go see the lights, you go to the light show at Macy's. That's over with. So we wanted to talk about some fun stuff you can do that's outside that maybe you'll get a little more holiday cheer in your month of December. So Sarah, what do you got? What do you think? I know you looked up a couple things here that are still happening in the greater Philadelphia area.
Yeah, so one thing that would be something that you can do this year that you've done in previous years, but they've put in good safety precautions, would be Christmas Village at Love Park in Philadelphia. They are still having all of the local vendors come in, have their stands outdoors, and they've also created a traffic flow when you're walking through so that you're mostly moving in one direction. They've created waiting areas to enforce social distancing, and I think they've really taken a lot of precautions in order to have that still be able to be open. It supports the vendors, and that's something that a lot of people, I think, do every year. So it's one tradition that you can kind of keep, which is nice.
Yeah, well, that is like a cool thing because, I mean, Love Park used to not be so great, and now it's much nicer, and people just love going downtown during the holidays. Unfortunately, like you can't do like the light show. Like I know people that went to the light show every year, and even though it's like the same show, like that was like a big thing. So
Right.
It's pretty cool that Love Park's open. So the other couple of things we saw here is Longwood Gardens, right? So that's mostly outside. So make sure you wear a jacket because I've been there before and it's really cold.
Yeah.
But they have all their normal holiday stuff that's running through January 10th, which is pretty cool. And there's also the this actually starts this weekend. It's the Holiday Door Tour in Westchester. So there's like a tour map, there's a scavenger hunt, there's raffle tickets, so it's a pretty cool thing you can do outside, and like Westchester's got that like kind of Christmas downtown feel, which is pretty cool as well. So a couple good things that you can do during the holidays. So what do you have planned? Like, do you have anything going on that you're going to be doing, like cutting your own tree or anything wild like that?
So we are going to be going along actually this weekend with my cousin and her family because they're cutting down a tree. So we're going to do that. We're not getting a tree this year because we just don't really have the right setup for it. So we're going to go along when their tree cut down. What about you?
Well, where are you guys going?
I think we're actually going somewhere right around the office here.
Like Lynn Villa, maybe? I know.
It's not Lynn
our
Villa.
neighbors did that. Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to find out.
We'll find out. We'll report back next week.
I will
So
report back.
I'm going to get my tree at a parking lot like I normally
Yep.
do. I don't know. I'm not big on the cut your own tree. I did that when I was a kid and I fell in a hole and we were out in the middle of Chester County and my dad's like, come on, keep going. So we're actually going to drive around and look at Christmas lights. That's our plan for this weekend. Once 5 o'clock hits, see what the neighbors are doing. We got a neighbor that has a 40-foot frosty in his yard and it looks like Clark Griswold 2020 version. If you're watching, Tom, you know I'm talking about you. So it's tough. I don't really know what to do. There's I know there's Santa photos happening in Havertown, but they're sold out. Mm-hmm. They have one person in, one person out. I think this is why these couple of events here we're talking about are going to be a little more interactive, and you can actually do something to make it feel like it's Christmas. Because I think a lot of people are kind of there's not that same holiday cheer in the air. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of confusion for what do we do?
Well, it's going to be tough. I like to cut your own tree. That's a good activity. It's outside. It's safe.
That is a good one.
I know we had some friends that did that at Lynn Villa this past weekend, and it was the trees were expensive for sure, but it was a good fun activity to do. So that's pretty cool. All right, so that's what we got locally. Just really, besides coronavirus news, which I think everyone's kind of sick of, and schools are starting to go back, but that'll probably close again. I mean, we don't have a lot to talk about here locally. So we did want to talk about the market, and this to me is pretty interesting. So this data came out a couple days ago that October pending home sales nationally fell unexpectedly, meaning the number of homes that sold because of buyers getting a little market fatigue, prices taking their toll. What do you think about all this, Sarah?
Yeah, it sounds like there were a couple different factors that weighed into the drop. Overall, when compared to 2019, it was still significantly higher.
20.2%.
Yeah, so significantly higher than what it had been in 2019. But there was a slight drop, and I would attribute that to the holiday season a little bit, as well as inventory is very low. So
Yep.
the the lack of homes to buy. And like you mentioned, buyers are getting a little bit fatigued with the multiple offer situations, the fact that houses are going, in some cases significantly over ask, and a lot of buyers are kind of like, hold on,
well,
it's too much.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that on the ground, right? Like you think you make a great offer on a property and it's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 above the asking price, and you waive inspections, and guess what? You still didn't get the home, right? And that's a big problem right now. The drop in pending sales is 1.1% month over month. I don't see that as a drop at all. I mean, I think this is a little misleading article coming from CNBC. Who would have thought? A big like clickbait headline, like no surprise there. The bigger news, this actually just happened before we started filming this, that rates fell again. So I don't see this like demand stopping. So to me, it's just going to be once homes come on the market, and this time of year, historically, there's less available. You brought up a good point, inventory. There's not enough homes to buy.
Right.
There's buyers out there ready to buy. There's just not enough of them. So when folks start coming back to the market and they start listing their homes again, and you're going to see a little bit more of that typically, historically, like right after January 1st, you see a pop in the market, and then a bunch of realtors out there, and if you're a realtor telling people this, like just stop, is to put your home on the market after the Super Bowl. It's like, I don't know where they got this idea from. It's one of those things where people come back to the market when the weather warms up. We're in a Northeast seasonal market, and it's not as seasonal as it used to be. I mean, 15 years ago, it wasn't like this, but inventory is a big challenge. It's not the homes to buy, but the fact that rates came down again, I don't think this really means anything other than there's less homes available, and that's why there's less selling.
Exactly. I mean, I think that there are very motivated buyers out there that really would love for the inventory to go up. So that slight little dip there, I agree. I don't think that really means anything.
Well, look at a 20.2% delta from last October. That's the story here, is that home sales are up that much in what usually is a slower month of the year. And I mean, if you look at what Lawrence Yun said, so he's the chief economist for NAR, that the market's still hot. We're just going to see rising home prices hurting affordability, but rates just came down since this news even dropped. So the rate coming down is the bigger news, because prices go up $5,000, $10,000 or 1%, 2%. 2% in our market's $6,000, $7,000, right? If the rate comes down like a tenth of a point, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Right.
And that's the thing people aren't realizing. The opportunity is rates. So I'm clear it's going to things are just going to keep going the way they have been, and it's just going to be a little harder finding inventory over the next 2-3 weeks while people do their, I guess, holiday celebrations where they're driving around in cars looking at Christmas lights like I am. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. But for the people that do want to go ahead and list it, even though we are getting into the holiday season here, there are motivated buyers that are still out there looking. So,
you bring up a good point. So, think about who should be thinking about listing their home right now. If you got an estate sale, get it on the market.
Yeah.
Your home's vacant, get it on the market. Someone that's going to sell no matter what, there's probably a little more opportunity for you right now because there's less out there. I mean, I'm clear this is actually a better time to list your home than waiting for the competition. Because I mean, you've written what, 6-7 offers the past week? I mean, and we have another guy on our team. He wrote 5. I mean, these are buyers that are out there that are active, and these are 6 different people too. It's not like it's one client writing 6 offers.
Right.
So it's we're on the ground. So I mean, you're clear if any of those people, they saw a home they wanted, they'd be out there.
Absolutely.
So this is the story. I mean, I hate these headlines where it's not really that great it's like kind of like clickbait, right? So I mean, the story here is rates are still low, affordability still high, price rising is a challenge for some people, and some folks are ready to go in there and just get the home because they're sick of it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to call this a bogus article here from CNBC. So let's talk about some local businesses, because I know I think right now that's the people that have gotten squeezed the most out of anyone during all this. So we wanted to highlight a couple places where you could do some holiday shopping, local. It seems like people are ready to kind of buy that sort of Christmas shopping sort of vibe. I'll wait till the 24th like I always do. So what do you got? I know you talked about Love Park, but anywhere in particular you think people need to be shopping local, or some great local businesses we could support?
Well, I think you had mentioned in the suburban square area, there were some nice pop-ups and additional options for people that would allow you to be outdoors and still do some shopping. So all of those, that sounds like a great option. I think in Wayne and a couple other areas, you've got a lot of really great boutiques that you could be walking around outdoors and then kind of pop in or do some window shopping. So those would be good options.
Yeah, so Boyd's is like the Philly suit store. So if you dress like a weenie like I do, then that's a great place. That popped up in Ardmore. It's right across from the farmers market. There's also a couple places like Westchester. I think what they're doing is they're actually like shutting down like some of the streets during the weekends, so you can go shopping down there. There's a couple places in Wayne too, like you mentioned. There's a few here. I want to just kind of highlight specifically. And what I would really look at. Think about a restaurant you might want to go back to when they open up, because a lot of these places, they're closing for the winter. I mean, They are like, especially in Philadelphia. I know a lot of like the destination restaurants, like Laurel, like they're done for the season. Like they're not opening back up. A lot of these places, like they invested in outdoor heaters and things like that, and they can't do it. So I mean, to me, that's like an obvious one that you want to look at.
Right, and I mean, I just feel for them because the pressure that was put on them in order to actually say we're going to close for a season, it is going to take them so long to recoup that money. But I mean, obviously they're doing a analysis there, and it's more expensive to keep it open. But yeah, I feel for them. So that would be a great way to support your local restaurants.
Well, and what stinks about this too is like wintertime in Philadelphia. It's not the best. Like it's cold. There's not a whole lot to do. Like you can go outdoors and get some of the stuff we talked about, maybe like some ice skating, but even that's a little taboo right now. Mm-hmm. So like the only thing to do is like go out to dinner, go meet some friends, and now you can't even do that. So it's really tough for a lot of these places. So I would think of what like Philadelphia restaurant you want to go to when things open up. That would make a great holiday gift, and you could name like a ton of them. And to your point, like a lot of these, if you walk up and down like North Wayne Avenue, like downtown Wayne, there's a lot of local shops, boutiques. Suburban Square has a ton of them as well, and so does Westchester and Media. So I'd really be thinking of like, where's a place I can get a gift that's like not online, not from Amazon, and we'll continue to kind of we'll give you a couple places each week as we work through December, just to kind of try to support our local businesses here.
And it's like a fun surprise, kind of, not a surprise, but when you find a gift card to a restaurant and that you'd been given months earlier, and it's like, oh my gosh, let's go use it. It's kind of like finding money in your jacket pocket. It's just exciting. So
that is it. Well, and I think it's something to look forward to as well. Because I mean, right now, it's been a weird time. I mean, there's not a lot of news happening. It's all about more restrictions. It's kind of like where we were back in May and April, and it's tough for a lot of folks. So I think it's the more you can go local, the better. What we'll keep doing is we're gonna every week we're gonna highlight a couple local businesses. So if anyone wants us to promote you, reach out, get in touch with us. We can talk. We can share with the audience here, and we'll just catch you guys next week and keep supporting our community as much as we can.